First is to thank you for sparing time and being with us, so that we could cement our long, standing relationship, spanning so many decades. We don't take it for granted, and we feel so honored to have this delegation coming in. Yes, we also appreciate the support that you give us in the business, and also in ensuring the relationship between the tea fraternity and the government of Pakistan is cordial. We're very much grateful for that, and we'll do our level best to ensure that we keep that relationship going in any way we can.
Tea is important to this country in terms of foreign exchange earnings, in terms of the population that derives its livelihood from tea, and even in terms of its contribution to the GDP. And employing people directly, staff, over 10,000, 600,000 farmers directly. And if you look at the value chain, it's actually is a big contributor to the livelihoods of many Kenyans. How we are structured is really is that we have farmers who have their own gardens, they own the factories. There are 69 factories today, and then in turn the factories own KTDA holdings. KTDA has subsidiaries along the value chain. So that's how we're structured. So it's owned by farmers. All this structure is owned by the farmers. Good news for Pakistan. You can see Pakistan now is ahead of Russia. Russia used to, for a long time, been the biggest market for tea in the world. But because of the challenges they've gone through in terms of sanctions, in terms of oil prices and so on, I think now Pakistan is now ahead, which is congratulations to the Pakistanis for keeping it up and being ahead. So in terms of how important the Pakistan market is to us, you can see that out of the imports of about 193 million, but I'm told there is other statistics that are not there, so it could be more than that. About 91% of the tea comes from Kenya. And out of that, about 60% comes from KTDA. So that's how important the Pakistan market is to us. Now this year, the market, the year started badly, and but we hope that we will not do worse than the current year. We are looking up to you. You are the people who buy. I'm sure you can put a few cents up so that we perform better than this year. Because this year we had a lot of problems with farmers. They did not believe. They thought that we actually stole the money. They say, where did the money go? So they didn't believe. And so when they see the buyers here, I'm sure we'll be asking you to look at the welfare of the farmers so that you improve it a little bit from what we are. So we don't perform as badly as we performed this year. So in terms of performance, because of the price is the biggest driver of performance, volume and price. So you can see how we performed this year. So this is volume. So volume has come down basically if you look at it over time, because the highest we had was 2016. 2018 was not bad, but this year was not so good. I don't know what happened this year because of these rains and so on, but perhaps it will be about the same as this 2019. We were having big war, social media war, TV, radio, over the low prices, because some people thought we are responsible for the low prices. We are only selling tea in the market, we don't buy. Currently, the industry is not a happy industry. The producers are hurting, costs are up, the prices are down. The same with the farmers. So it affects everybody, government, media. But we hope that as we go on, there can be some little bit of hope that the future can be better. That these are just some of the cyclical tea issues that we've had.
Pakistan in 1980s was a captive market for Sri Lankan teas. We were drinking 100% orthodox teas. And it so happens that there was a frostbite in Brazil, with which the coffee crop had gone bad, and America bought huge quantities of teas, being an alternate hot beverage from Sri Lanka. And their prices went up to $5. This is back in 1980s. So that is the time when Kenya teas started coming into Pakistan. And slowly and steadily, Pakistanis got hooked to the taste of cities, and they liked, and I think by year 2000, no Sri Lankan tea is coming to Pakistan. Pakistan do not grow any tea, so 100% of the teas are imported. Tea is on OGL, that's open general list. There's no restriction. Anyone can buy from anywhere in the world. Now, since Pakistan drinks about 250 million kilograms, so it's a center of attraction for all tea producing countries. But luckily, Pakistanis, they got hooked to the teas which Kenya produces. But the good news for Kenya and your farmers would be that our tea consumption is increasing at the same rate as our population is increasing. And that is about 2.5%, and which is very huge. So that's and the other thing, that in Pakistan, like you have to induce people to come and drink tea, like in European countries where the consumption is going down. But in Pakistan, the tea is mostly drunk by poor people. And not only their breakfast, but they can have their lunch with tea as well. So that is a strong point, that but they want a good cup of tea if they're having lunch with it. So that's why they stick to Kenya teas. Now, if you produce more teas and mediocre quality, so how can they expect to get good prices? Compare yourself with Rwanda, just look at them, they are fetching $6 because they are producing quality tea. So it has to be seen that, the quality has to be there. The emphasis should be on the quality. If you produce good quality, doesn't matter even if the production is a little lower, you'll get a good price.
Issues of sample variation, I think that is a concern that we take note. It's a serious concern. We'll look through and see what we can do about it. Because our desire and our standard is that the tea should be consistent, and that's why there is pre-blending of daily productions at the factory floor, so that whatever goes to the market is consistent.
Kenyan tea has become a kind of an integral part of every Pakistani household. That's the reason why Pakistan is importing such a large quantity. Now, we being in a commodity that is purely dependent on the weather, so these kind of spikes do come, but I'm sure these are not sustainable. As you have mentioned, that at the moment the farmers are not happy. Kenyan tea is exporting to Pakistan almost 40% of their crop, approximately. Now, definitely, as you know, Pakistan is at the moment has a new and fresh government. Earlier, things were different. At the moment, what Pakistan government has done, that just to make out on the balance of payment, our currency was devalued by almost about 45% in about 12 months period. And as Hamid mentioned, that there is a buying power limitation to every household. Because of these non-tariff these are all non-tariff barriers which Pakistan government has imposed just to curtail down on overall imports. Although they should have considered tea as a food item, but in the views of government, they say that it is a luxury. That whenever we go and deliberate with our government, asking for different measures to curtail the smuggling and all, they say, then why don't you buy teas where you are offered FTA?
Just a brief summary of from where we started. We started in 1991 from a small city in southern Punjab, which now everyone knows. Before that, no one knew that this city could be in one of the highest taxpayers. So we started that in 1991, and initially we weren't importing that much Kenyan teas, but gradually, right now, our blend consists of 80% KTDA marks. So that's a big achievement, and it's all because of your support. These guys, your management team is quite good, very good. Like John, they are always available at any time in point, and we do have a sympathy with the farmers, but sometimes, things are not even in our hands. All of us in this room want to act socially responsible because that's a need of the hour. But sometimes things are not in our hands. And, right now in Pakistan, I'll just give you an example. A new policy has been introduced. The sales tax is already collected at the port. So our cash flow is being stuck. So, the capacity of a buyer decreases. So that's some things, which are not in our hands always. So that's even the problem, but we do have a sympathy. And on the transparency part, I know KTDA is always trying to help the farmers. And last but not the least, I do have my reservations on the e-auction, and I do have my concerns on that. And I feel that right now, when you are having such a bad year and introducing this e-auction, it might create some panic, because I feel, and with the people I have spoken, that not all the stakeholders are happy and not all of them are on board right now. And it's also quite fast. So I believe that once we go on the e-auction, the uniqueness of the auction will be hindered. So yeah, we do have our reservations on that, and it is my suggestion that once all the stakeholders are on board, we implement this.